So should we just kick off, I guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So going to start with a fairly easy one, I hope. This one's from Steph. Why did you choose to manage Clapton CFC?
That's from Stefan, yeah?
Yeah.
To be fair, I didn't choose per se. I was kind of chosen. I do remember when they kind of approached me and said they got a project that they wanted to start. Obviously wanted to make a breakaway from the other Clapton. So I had already kind of agreed to manage my other Saturday team, which I still do now. So I thought, okay, cool. I would, as I knew what the club was about, I said, okay, yes. Initially, I was thinking of doing a joint manager thing with someone else. I didn't know how I was going to balance the time. But obviously, the other manager came in. He had other things going on. So just the long short of it is just I ended up kind of taking the lead, so to speak, and just getting the ball rolling.
Sorry, Jeff.
That's all right.
I'm going to get so many calls with this already. Let me get my high-tech phone stand in place again.
I see you, Leon. I see you.
Right, hold it in place. Okay, so that's done well. Okay, so this one's from Davey. To what extent do the players keep up with what's going on at the All Spotted Dog and kind of all the ongoing progress there? How much do they keep up with it, or do they kind of just focus on what's happening game to game?
No, they check online and they see all the updates. Quite a few players have been there already. They've seen the progress in terms of the pitch, because that's the major factor in terms of the pitch. No one's ever really seen that amount of grass on there ever before. So they're checking on it all the time, and they're desperate to play in it. So again, with all the updates, and it's regularly put in the group anyway. You know, it's showing what's happening around the ground and kind of developments on there. So they're on it. They're ready. And as I said, it's going to be a particular hard choice, obviously, because everyone wants to be involved in that first game, which is going to be momentous. But we just have to pick accordingly, don't we?
I can do left back if you want me, no problem. Fair enough. This one's from Little Josie. I'm Big Josie. How does it feel to have your face on stickers that are now all around the world?
It's flattering. It's humbling, I guess. It's kind of like that people want to stick your sticker everywhere. I remember when I first found out about it, it's just someone just said, "Oh, Geoff's in Germany or Geoff's in Holland." I didn't realize what's going on. Obviously, then I looked on the social media and see where they've tagged on it. So, it's humbling, that people want to stick around and kind of you've got a kind of a cult following. But like I always say, the club, we give and take. So as much as they're sticking it around, I kind of thank them for what they're doing, and obviously kind of trying and clearing my name the same thing.
Fair enough. This one's from Tolga. He's a fan.
Now he is.
If you could change one thing about any Ccfc game, what would you change and why? So you had your time machine, you could go back and make that change. What would you do?
To be fair, there's not many things we would change, because obviously when we do make changes or when we go into games with particular squads, there's usually a theory behind it, or we've got an idea of how we want to play and how we're going to influence the game. But picking one, I'd probably go back to the Catholic final where we played Catholic United, because we knew how they were going to play. But maybe I would have changed it in terms of tactically, in terms of the squad that we had available. Maybe would have gone a bit slightly more physical, because I think that's where they got the advantage on us. I think we thought we could outplay them, but I think physically, especially with the win, I think they dominated us a little bit. And I think going back now, I think if we changed the team, I think we'd had a better chance of obviously winning that game, even though we did go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we were happy to have that final go ahead, but yeah, we would also like to have won it as well, I guess.
So I can't win them all, as they say.
Yeah, that's true. I was at the one we won, just saying. This one's from Callum. What is the most rewarding thing about managing or coaching a non-league?
Um, I think seeing development in players, I think, because sometimes I think as a manager you have a decision, don't you? I think when you kind of get a player on board, you either see the potential and see in terms of where the coaching points where you can improve them, or you maybe get someone in maybe a bit more of the finished article, and then but it may be a case of they may have aspirations to go higher, and it may be a bit difficult in terms of obviously getting them in terms of man management. So I think it's always about seeing players develop, and especially from the start of the season to the end. And I think kind of the fans often see that as well, especially with the younger players, seeing how confident they may be, or not confident, so to speak, at the start of the season. But then obviously as the season progresses and kind of confidence we give them, because obviously we want young players to play and be confident and play. We don't really got any players' backs. We just want them to do what they do in training and translate that into games. And so I think definitely seeing the journey of players going through, and sometimes even if we can push them on, you know what I mean? We're not here to kind of keep anyone at the club. You know, it's about people realising their potential, and players obviously want to play for Clapton.
Fair enough. So the best thing is basically just developing the players, developing the talent.
Yeah, of course.
This one is from Annie. She sent me about 4 questions, but we haven't got time for all Annie's questions. But we'll go with the wife what the bet was the most interesting one. Do you think racism at football clubs and football games has got worse since you first started playing, or do you think it's better, or do you think it's the same?
You would like to think it's slightly better in terms of how diverse the crowds are now compared to how they were maybe about 20 years ago. You would like to think they are better. I think there was a spell where people kind of thought it was eradicated or it disappeared. But I think with recent kind of technology, especially with that CCTV now at games and stuff, and being able to kind of lip read, I think we've kind of re-established we still got a problem. So I think it's got better. It's slightly better. There's still work to do, and I think, as I said, with the modern day technology, I think it's very important that people have individual responsibility as well. Because I think within the collective, people can feel they can say things or carry on in China and they won't get caught. But now you know that, if you go to a game and you say something and it's lip read, social media, by the evening, your name's around, plastered around. On Monday, you're probably out of employment. So I think that should be a deterrent with more people to know that, when I'm going to games, I better really behave myself.
Fair enough. So slightly better, you think?
I think so. I think, as I said, if you look in crowds now, it's very more diverse in terms of obviously the people going to games. So you'd like to think, it's easy. People can say something from the crowd when they're not getting caught. But if someone's standing next to you, you're going to think twice because you don't know what the repercussions might happen.
Yeah. Slightly on that theme, this is from Simon. So what's it like being? What's the experience being a black manager in non-league?
I think the thing is, it's not a new thing. It's at our level. I mean, if you look at the Middlesex league that we played, it's very diverse. Probably the most diverse league I've ever played, and that's why I enjoy playing it compared to Essex Senior. I think, look, different cultures, different ways of playing football. So I think at my level, it's not really too much of a thing. I suppose if we go up higher up the leagues, I suppose that's where the issues are. If you find what people kind of complain about opportunities and just even the diversity of kind of chairmen and boards and that sort of level. So I've really covered it too much. I don't really think it's much of a big thing at our level, but I think going higher up, I think you'll probably see an instance. Maybe if I'm seen as kind of like a figurehead or whatnot, I commend that. But yeah, it's just what it is, I think, at the moment.
Well, a few more promotions, and you'll be one of the people driving that change. I think, mate. Up the leagues, up the leagues, up the leagues. Here we
go. We'll try our best.
This is from James. What's your favourite Ccfc song?
Obviously, I'm gonna pick mine, but mine are the best because obviously I enjoy those the most. But barring mine, I do like Noah's and Josh's. I think that's quite a good. For those who obviously haven't heard it.
Your song goes, Geoff, again?
Sorry.
Remind me how your one goes again.
Oh, I'll post it later. You can see because it's not really X Factor, but and there's a few. The Brigade, I have a few that no one's gonna take it away from me. I do like that one. That's quite continuous. So I suppose those and the individual ones. There was a few older ones, I suppose, that were good. Like who had a few? Peter Moore had a good one.
Yeah.
For those who remember his. So there's a few of the old ones. Maybe they could remix those for the newer players.
Yeah, always on the lookout for players who've got the same or similar names as some of those classic songs, so we can bring them back. Maybe you could factor that into your hiring policy, your recruitment policy.
Yeah, we could try in the initiation process as well.
Yeah. All right, there's another one from James. If you had to design our third kit, what are you going for?
I mean, I think I've spoken about this with a few before anyway. Like the away kit is nice, the design of it, obviously the traditional away kit. But I think if it was allowed, if we could get that into all black, I think that would be really super. I think that would look really, really good and unique as well. So if we could get that into all black, even if we could just get a kind of a prototype, that would be great. I don't mind modeling either.
All right, you put yourself up for the model, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, all black.
This one is from Andrew. So how do you and Stu divvy up the GTs, obviously, when you're playing as well? And what is he like as a presence in the changing room?
Stuart.
Yeah.
I think he's a kind of a common influence. I think in terms of where we're at, it's a good balance between obviously myself, Sham, and obviously Kev has come in. So I think Stu does bring a kind of a good kind of organizational element to it when I'm playing. I mean, when I'm playing, I do leave it to them on the side. Obviously, we do try and confer as much as we can. And, it's very hard to get messages across with 500 people kind of banging the drum and cheering, not that it's a hindrance, but, that's what it is. So I usually leave it to them. We'll discuss after the game, post-match, decisions. But look, we usually before games, throughout the week, we're discussing, scenarios, what could happen through the game. So generally, nothing really comes to a head. Injuries you can't plan for, but generally we kind of know what's happening. So especially kind of before the game, halftime, potential subs and whatnot. So between obviously Stu and remember Sham is there, usually there as well, and Kev. I think they're all in good hands. Experienced guys, done it before. So I usually leave it to them when I'm playing.
Fair enough. That's a good answer, actually. This is one from Ricardo. So I've slightly just changed the wording a bit, but basically, most of the players who come and play against us at home, that's the biggest crowd they're going to play in front of, right? So, given that difference between what they might normally experience and when they come to our place, do you think that it makes it difficult in terms of teams raising their game? It's like a cup final, or do you think they might, in some cases, like buckle under it?
What, for the opposition or
yeah,
us?
For the opposition, yeah.
I think if I was an opposition player, I think they're going to thrive under it. Definitely. I mean, you're not going to play in front of that sort of crowd at this sort of level. And again, I mean, to play in front of that sort of crowd, you're talking about maybe going up to step 3, step 2 even, because we're competing with those sort of crowd. So it's definitely a motivator for them, but also it's for us really, because the crowd they're there to support us. So we've got to use it kind of to rejuvenate ourselves and kind of use it as as the stalwart to kind of push forward, and kind of we don't want to disappoint them really. So we need to kind of match whatever energies that the teams are coming, because we're at home. It's meant to be our fortress. So we're supposed to match anything that they do in terms of effort and in terms of personality and drive, and use that as a leverage to kind of push us on and kind of win the games.
Do you have to factor it in a lot though when you kind of talking to, especially particularly in the our actual cup games? Do you talk to the players about it, the fact that they're going to play better than they have against if you've been to see them play other teams?
Yeah, but I think now, especially for kind of the older players who played for this like the second season, really they should know. They should know, it's going to be a big game for them. They're going to raise it, and they're going to raise it, because there's nothing better than kind of silencing a crowd of 500 people that that want you to lose. There's nothing better than that. They act up all the time. We've seen it with Stonewall, with Brentford, even the Indian Gymkhana, the first game of the season. I mean, they took a picture in front of the brigade, to celebrate. So we need to use that, as I said, as a leverage to kind of to win games and make sure that we don't want to let them down.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because they're very unique. The fans are very unique. They will support us 100%. Even sometimes when we don't deserve it. Sometimes we've been terrible, but they'll still clap us. Cheer us on for the whole 90 minutes. You still hear the banging of the drum. So ever more so to kind of just put the extra effort in to not let them down.
Yeah, I think thinking about Brentford when they drew on Mabley Green, and you feel like they won the FA Cup. They were cheering about it.
Oh, the last minute.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've got something for Brentford next time anyway.
Yeah, we'll get next time. It's also Chelsea. So with the new steel-footed dog, are you thinking about the Ccfc youth sector? And do you think that like local young people in Newham will be able to feed into the eventually.
Yeah, definitely. I think as probably some people are well aware, some are not. Obviously, we do have the young tons, and they have started to kind of play matches now on a Saturday morning with the under nines. So I think the long term of it is because, as I said, we've established a kind of a development team. In an ideal scenario, you'd have people playing for the young tons, the better players before they're kind of developed. They will go and play for the development team, because obviously I refer kind of player to Justin, and Justin is obviously he's got his eye on the ball and there in terms of his setup. And then long term of it, the ones he feels are ready to step up, hopefully you would like to think they can step up to the first team. Obviously, the more promotions we get, it is harder. It will be harder, but again, the process is there, and ideally, that's what we want to do. With the Spotted Dog, you would like to think, as I said, going forward, that's going to be a community hub for people to kind of to maybe even train, use the facilities, use it as kind of like a youth center for meetings or whatnot. So, and if you're local, you're going to be hearing the crowds and seeing people going towards kind of the Spotted Dog. They're going to be in trial to kind of come in and have a look. And then from then on in, when your interest is there, you're going to want to, how do I play for them? How do I get involved? So you like to think, obviously, over the longer period, we'll start to get our fan base back up, local people and local kind of young people getting involved. And then, as I said, being like a sort of a community hub, you like to think that'll be a kind of our ethos in terms of what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that it's been a slightly limbo period with being in Walthamstow, but looking to Newham. So
Yeah.
Newham, we can start getting that going and pulling all the different strands together, hopefully. This one is from Sean. So how do you approach recruitment of players? How many players get in touch with you every year about playing? How many people have to give a trial and that? What needs to be in place maybe that isn't there right now to attract the type of players or the caliber of players that we want to get going forward?
In terms of recruitment, I think obviously, as I said, with COVID, it was a bit difficult because if I just go back to the year before last, I think people would approach the club. What I've asked is that they kind of send a CV through, and then what we would have ideally would just have trial days. Just 2 weeks, just trials. People that have applied, doesn't matter where you've played. We'll get them into kind of a little bit of training and then game scenarios, mini games, and then from then on in, we'll just pick out the players we feel kind of that should come and train with the first team. In terms of, I get referrals all the time, to be fair, in my inbox all the time. I know Sham, I think Stu, Kev, all the time, to be fair. And bless Jack, he gets them the official ones that go via the email. So as I said, I just tell him to kind of just look at the CVs. Anyone's played at a decent level, let's have a look. And then we really, if we feel we've got a void in the squad, we may have a look at that. At the moment, as I said, I personally feel the squad is very strong. I think we've covered all bases in terms of our recruitment. We were waiting for a couple to get international clearance, and now that's done. I think we're kind of quite strong in that sort of sense. So I don't think we'll be recruiting at this moment in time. But again, as I said, football, you just don't know. So, I'd like to think like we're like a bit like one of those kind of West End sort of clubs at the moment. It's kind of a one in, one out sort of policy, So that's how it's got to be at the moment until obviously, unless we feel there's a void or we're weak in certain areas, then of course, then we'll try and get someone else in.
Fair enough. Just reminded me about clubbing. Remember that? That was a weird time. I've not done for a bit. This one's from Max. Clapton is obviously a very political club, has a lot of stuff going on of that nature. So do you think we're getting that balance right between the football and the political side? And is there anything we need to improve on or just do differently or anything, or you're happy with the way that tone and that balance works?
I think the political side, I think it's fine. I think everyone kind of knows where we lay our hat in terms of what our firm beliefs are and core values. And obviously comparing it to the football, I don't think it's ever going to supersede kind of the football, because ultimately, we could put kind of an event on on a Saturday 3 p.m. And tell people to turn up, and I guarantee you won't get 500 people that will turn up, but they will do for football on a Saturday and a Sunday, so to speak. So the political side, as I said, that is what we're about. That's why we're different, and obviously that's why I think as a club we're trailblazers in a lot of the stuff we've done, because not other clubs are really doing it or even pushing it. At this time, we look at the hardship fund. I don't think any club is anyone pushing it as hard as we are in terms of what we're supporting our members during this unprecedented times. So I think the political side is fine. It doesn't really interfere in the games, does it? I mean, it's before games, half time, after the games. No one's kind of forced. In terms of the players, I don't really put any sort of player, if they don't feel comfortable in terms of supporting a cause, they don't have to. That's not really part of the signing on process, to play for the club. But most will get involved, because again, it's like, if we're talking about like blood cancer, those sort of things, the Christmas toy appeal, Magpie Project, why wouldn't you want to get involved? Why wouldn't you want to support them as much as you can? Because it's helping people with helpful, vulnerable people out. So I think it's fine. Long may it continue. We as players will always support as much as we can, outside of football where we can, because it's the least we can do. You come and support us, during a Saturday and a Wednesday at training, free of charge. You volunteer, a lot of you, so it's the least we can do. We can obviously put our heads to things and obviously show face and kind of interact with the fans, because we are family. That's what we are. Our club is a family, is a community, so that's what we want to do.
Yeah, good point, actually. The Neum Toy Appeal we've done every year since I can remember, and we will be doing it this year. Games.
Yeah.
So if there's no games on, we'll do it online. If we've got games, we'll be doing bucket shaking. So anyone who's watching, just remember that and do look out for it, and please give generously. This one's from me. So I know that you've been to quite a number of the women's games.
Yeah.
I wondered if you had a favourite performance from a player that you could pick out and say that's the best player I've seen at the women's team so far, the best performance I've seen at the women's game so far.
Performance, it'll be difficult. I mean, the last game I went to, I think it was well documented. I think I said online. I think Lucy Swords was kind of tremendous. She was everywhere, especially on that sort of pitch. It's borderline. You're thinking, really, should it have been on? Should it not been on? So the kind of obviously to have the mobility and kind of just getting about the pitch and just everywhere, tackles, passing everywhere. She was just doing her stuff. But from the games I've been to, I'd say, if you say the most consistent player, I'd probably say Emily. I think she's one of the best players at the club, period, in terms of technical ability and just everything that happens around kind of the women's team. I think, usually Emily is usually involved. It's a bit like Sherwin when he plays for us, if they're having good games, generally 9 times out of 10, that we're going to win the game. So I think definitely I'll say Emily's kind of really one of the stars, I would say.
Fair enough. This is Gal and Nabil both asked this kind of similar type of question. So what is a realistic target for the team this season, and how far do you think we can go up, through the leagues at Ccfc? Let's say next
couple of years, or
so yeah, the target for this season and our target for years, let's say.
With the league, the double, isn't it? We don't know what's happening with the cup, should I say? But we go in every game to win. There's nothing in the league, as I said, this is our second season now. There's nothing in the league that kind of frightens me or scares me or feel they're going to be a problem. So we're going for the league easy, and hopefully, as I said, if the cup's on, it'll be a great day out for the fans and we can get to another final. So we're trying to win every comp we're going to be in. Even the BBC Cup, let's go for it. Usually I usually ring the changes for that, give people opportunity, but let's go for it this time. As I said, the Essex teams we usually face, they usually kind of give it a big one when we get there. So why not just give them a kind of taste of their own medicine this time and just, and let's go through. So yeah, we're looking to win everything. In terms of the leagues, there's no kind of boundaries to this league. I mean, it's a really club that everyone wants to play for, especially if you're locally. So obviously there will be a transition in terms of who's to go up, because we're getting to senior football now. So again, it's about playing midweek sometimes. So then you're looking at player availability, because not everyone can commit. So, and again, the caliber of player, you probably need to we'll need to recruit in the summer to, if we're going to kind of compete at that sort of level. But I think Clapton as a club, in terms of the foundations of what they're doing, so what we're doing, it can continue to go up the leagues. We've seen it happen before. We've seen with AFC Wimbledon, when you've got the support, people willing to play, there's no boundaries to where you can go. So I say there's no limits, really. We can just continue to go up the leagues.
Great. And have you got any particular thoughts about maybe getting promoted back into the Essex Senior League?
naturally that would be our progression. I'm looking at geographically, we would want to probably go there. That's the kind of obviously the value of success. We will eventually have to go there. We know that we haven't got too many fans over there in terms of the hierarchy, but we don't care in it. We'll just do what we have to do. We'll win games, and we rise above uncertainty, as they say.
We'll rise above it. I agree, mate. I agree.
Yeah.
All right, so we've done a good 25 minutes there. So I'm gonna go into the quick fire answers now, right? So not looking for anything too wordy, looking for your gut feeling. You ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Favorite CCFC goal?
I'll say Aaron. Aaron's one.
Aaron one, yeah.
I don't know if you remember it. Yeah. I'll probably say Aaron.
The volley, yeah. That's pretty one of mine as well, actually. The team you like playing against the least?
The least? Historically, it was Northwest London. They used to cause us problems. A team that they play from the back, technically very good, and also very fast forwards as well. They used to cause us a lot of problems. So it used to be Northwest London.
Have it changed?
Well, I don't know if they're as strong this season, going by results, and I haven't played them in pre-season. That's why I say it used to be. So, but I would say Northwest London.
All right. Have you got any pre-match routines or superstitions?
I don't really. I'm usually the last to warm up, really, because I also have to sort out all the stuff. So I don't really have any, nothing major, really.
Right.
Just if anything, just getting the boys out from being lazy. Taking long to get ready to start the warm up. They know who they are. They're in the comments, actually.
Okay. Favorite citrus fruit?
Oh. Orange?
I think that's because one of the chant videos you're on a line, but yeah, orange is your favorite. Good stuff.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure it was citrus.
Yeah. Who's your favorite player as a kid?
Zidane.
Who's your favorite player as a from your playing days when you were playing not when you were just a player rather than player manager?
As in who I played with, or just in general?
In general.
Messi, I think. Messi at the moment.
Messi, okay.
So Messi is the man.
Messi or Ronaldo?
No, it's got to be Messi. Come on, it's got to be Messi.
And so presumably, outside of Messi, who's your favorite player right now?
Who do I like? I'm personally, I like what Grealish is doing. I think England have got a player there. If they can nurture him and obviously let him play, don't put too much pressure on him. I do like Grealish. He's my type of player, footballer.
We're going to keep this quick fire, Geoff, right? out of 10, how would you score our league referees?
Obviously, barring I'll give them a modest 7. I think they do try. Sometimes you just can't help if you just can't control games and you're struggling to do your best. Or if you can't leave the centre circle, what can you do? But I'll give him a modest 7.
All right. Can Dino ever come and play a game as a striker?
Can he? Yeah, he can. Like he plays with me 5-a-side and whatnot. I think he'll definitely be running the channels and causing their backline havoc. He'll never stop running.
What game will I see his name on the team sheet up top?
Well, we're hoping if the league's wrapped up, then maybe we could give him the last couple of games up top.
Fair enough.
And I'm sure, yeah.
All right, this is a scenario. Due to a mix-up, you found yourself wrongly arrested for a crime you didn't commit. You're down the station. You get one phone call. You have to choose someone from all the players and all the managers. Who are you calling?
Sham.
Why is that?
He's a bit wiser, and I think he'll know what to say.
Right, okay. Who is the most technical player to play for CCFC men's team?
Technical?
Yeah.
Steph Nielsen. Easy.
Steph Nielsen. So that might be a question. If you get one player back playing for CCFC, who's left, who would it be?
It'll be Steph Nielsen. I still think there's a element I think we still miss him. I think his technical ability, consistency with kind of free kicks and whatnot, and just a different sort of player that we currently have. I think we definitely still miss Steph.
All right. This one's from Matt. Top 3 favorite albums.
Oh, to be fair, I've never really been an album person, but I'll just kind of throw them out there. What I used to listen to, like so, Dre 2001. I used to listen to that. Get Rich or Die Trying. Trying to think of one more. What else I used to listen to? Eminem, Marshall Mathers.
Okay, fair enough. Who's your managerial hero?
Um, I don't think you can't admire Jose even before he came to Spurs. Just Jose, his kind of charisma, how he would go into games and take it to the opposition and just he'd take his players into the lines then and that sort of stuff. I love that sort of stuff and kind of leaving it there. He'll put his words out there and everyone wanted to fail, but he'll rise above it and he'll still win. So really, Jose, I can't really deny it.
Anonymous from one of the team wants to
Anonymous.
Know who's the best and worst trainers on a Wednesday?
The best. Julian's probably the best. Julian's one of the best. To be fair, he leads. Yeah. To be fair, he leads the kind of the post-match stretches and whatnot, and kind of the extra bodies. Worth. To be fair, Sherwin doesn't like running. He doesn't like it. To be fair, so Sherwin's up there. He doesn't like the running. He tries to get out of it, but we make sure. Make sure he does it. We wait for him.
Here's another scenario for you. You're on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. You're on the £1 million question. You don't know the answer. You've got your phone a friend left. It can only be one of the players and managers. Who are you calling?
Probably Jack Francis. I think he's a quiz guy. If you look at he's a quiz guy. He's definitely the kind of world of knowledge. So Jack Francis knows his stuff. So definitely, if there's any sort of pub quizzes, I'm getting them in.
All right. I think this is the last one on my. Oh, I've got two left on my list. So from their prime, who is better at football? You, Sham, or Yassin?
In the prime?
Yeah.
Sham was good. I'm not gonna lie, Sham was good. Sham was really good. Both feet, could do a lot of technical stuff. So Sham was really good. So I'll probably give it to Sham. I was a late bloomer, I think.
And this is the last one. Who is your go-to starting Pokemon? Is it Charmander, Squirtle, or Bulbasaur?
Charmander, isn't it? Because he goes into what's it, Charizard, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so. It's been a while.
Yeah. So you gotta go with Charmander.
All right, that's the quick fire round over. We're now at 35 minutes, so we'll have maybe, what do you reckon, 3 more questions from the comments?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm good.
So come on, anyone in the comments? There should be 30 odd of you. Who's got a question for Geoff?
Let's see.
There were a lot of questions earlier, but I didn't see them. They were flying past.
Let's see anyone's in there. Let's see who's going to be brave.
Here's one. Is she a better cricketer or footballer?
Footballer. He's a better footballer, to be fair. Why should I ask him that?
Sam says, Geoff, are you single?
Yes, I am.
Good to know. Annie wants to know who's got the best sense of humour in the team and give us an example.
I don't know about example because obviously a lot of things in the group chat is confidential.
Okay.
Sometimes borderline, but I think you'd be surprised. I think Dino is actually funny, but Dino doesn't know he's funny. That's the thing, and that's why he is actually the funniest. And he's usually kind of the group chat revolves around him. He'll just put something in there, knowing he's gonna get vilified and ripped, but he'll just run with it. So I'll probably say Dino, definitely.
Okay, we'll do the last two. Will Tom Marsden never get a call up? Can I answer this one? No, sod off. Right.
But in fairness to Tom, when he trains with us, he's actually technically quite good. I mean, he's got the best goal that never was. We still never forgive the liner for that. In terms of the event, why are you calling that off? Tom's actually quite good technically. If he could get fitter, you just never know.
That's the next to Tom at games when that liner is playing, and he still holds a grudge. We'll do the last one. Will you do a Mourinho when we beat Brenton?
Brenton? Yeah, I probably would, to be fair. I think it's about time we beat them, to be fair. And we've got their number. It's just, there's just a fine margin. So I'm quite confident we'll beat them, to be fair, next time.
Well, we'll look forward to that Mourinho impression. All right, Geoff, we've come to, I think we're at 40 minutes, so I think that's a good point to draw a line under it. Thanks for doing this.
No
Um,
problem.
Thanks everyone who's watched it online. I think it'll get posted as a video, so you can come back and have a look at your answers.
Don't
Uh,
forget to donate again to the hardship funds. That's still ongoing as
don't
well.
forget
So
to
make sure.
and also if you can share this, or if you can tell a friend about our Instagram channel, we're desperately close to 10,000 followers, which unlocks a whole load of other features that will be helpful to the club. So if you can get your friends and your family onto Instagram to follow the club, that'd be really great. Yeah, and look out for the new employee appeal, which should be coming up in a couple of weeks.
Cheers.
Good evening, everyone. See you later. Bye, Geoff.
Take care.